Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. It is your girl, Jamie Drew with thegirlfriendexperience.org. You guys, I am so excited about tonight because tonight we are going to be talking about relationships. I know everybody can relate. Everybody loves to talk about relationships all the time. And if you guys used to tune in with me when I used to do a little thing called the Jamie Drew Show, then you remember I used to talk about relationships a lot. So this is right up my alley. Go ahead and share this video with somebody that you think can find value in the video, okay? If you are watching this on YouTube and you are not subscribed, then you know you're wrong, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're not watching this on YouTube, then head on over to YouTube, look for the Girlfriend Experience LLC and hit that subscribe button so that you can make sure that you are part of the tribe and that you know every single time your girlfriend posts a new video. So right now we are talking about how to know if he or she is the one, okay? And I had to swipe over for my comments because y'all remember last time I I forgot about my comments. So this time I want to make sure I see everybody that comes in here and everybody that comments. We have my painting featured in the background. Do not forget about that. If you would like an original piece of artwork, then head on over to thegirlfriendexperience.org. You can see everything that I do there as well. But tonight we are going to be talking about chemistry, compatibility. We are going to be talking about love. And you know, this is right up our alley from what we have been talking about before, because you know, we've been talking about changing our lives. We've been talking about leveling up. We've been talking about becoming a better person, becoming the most awesome version of ourselves. So right in line with that, we need to talk about, you know, our counterpart, our partner, our husband, our wife, our lover, our lifetime friend, whatever it is that you want to call it, this person that you are going to share your life and your joy with. Some of the things that you need to be looking out for, you know, as a part of, is this a lifelong partner for you? Can you commit to this person? Is this somebody who you will find value in for years and years and years to come? And this is so important when we think about leveling up, getting to the next level, because it comes right along with it. You are changing into a new person as you elevate in life and as you grow and change. And this person that you are seeking, or if you're currently in a relationship now, it's a constant reassessment of, is this person growing with you? Is this somebody who you can see for the long term? So I have like 8 things written down here, okay? But if you want to chime in at any point and throw your 2 cents in, I'm sure there's so much more to be talked about. So chime on in if you feel necessary. Otherwise, we're going to get right into it and talk about the number one thing. Well, they're not in any particular order. I'll say that because everything is not important for everybody, okay? That's one thing that you have to learn as you are building your relationship with your significant other, that you cannot compare your relationship to that person with anybody else that you know, because what works for you isn't going to work for somebody else and vice versa, okay? So even though I labeled this as number one, doesn't mean that it is the only thing or the top most important thing that you need to be worrying about when assessing your compatibility with somebody else, okay? So let me get a sip because, honey, we're going to be talking. I hope you have your water too, okay? Or get your fingers moisturized because I want to see comments and everything, okay? Your physical attraction to the person is very important. And a lot of people minimize this, but it is a very important thing to be, you know, chemically, you know, visually, some way stimulated by this person to where you feel a draw to them, a certain attraction to them. And one of the reasons why I labeled this as number one is because this is going to be the first thing that you encounter with the person. A lot of the other things that you need to consider when you're thinking about your divine counterpart, somebody that you're going to be with for years and years to come, the other things are a little bit deeper. But this right here, this physical attraction or this chemistry is going to be, really, really important as a first connector. So let's go a little bit deeper and let's talk about some of the things that you could be physically attracted to, or what type of chemistry, what type of bonds you can have with this person. And if you have any comments, put your comments out there. I want to see what you think about this too, because you may have some things in mind that I did not think about. Because like I said, everybody is different. Everybody has different wants and needs and desires, right? So it's important to know what yours are, to know what your wants and desires and needs are, and to really know what your deal breakers are. Because some of your, you're going to have your must-haves column and you're going to have your nice-to-haves column. And so you have to say, okay, my must-haves are absolute deal breakers if this person does or doesn't have this. So these are going to be the core things that are most important to your life, okay? So that's not going to include like this physical attraction, okay? That's lightweight stuff. So let's get into that first, okay? One of the things that is going to draw you to somebody is the way that they look, okay? Everybody is so focused on the inside of somebody else and saying that politically correct stuff. But if we just keep it real, we know that one of the major things that we look at with people is how they look. How do they groom themselves? How do they take care of their hair, their skin? How youthful do they look? That's very important, especially, if you're looking at women, it's always, the more vibrant, the better. So how much life does this person have? Does this person look healthy? I mean, everything, all of this is exuding from a person's body and skin and their, their aura and everything. What type of vibe are you getting from this person? So, the physical attraction, the look of a person is very important to assess, especially in the beginning when you're thinking about what is drawing you to this person, okay? Another thing that could physically and, chemically attract you to somebody is their demeanor or their attitude, okay? Sometimes we talk about, this person has swag, or I like this person's attitude, or, I like the way, this person handles their business. I like the way this person talks to his employees, whatever it is that makes you feel like, oh, yes, this person is it. You have got to have that bond. So, some of these are interchangeable. If the person doesn't have the exact, dream person look that you were looking for, but they have, super swag, or, super sexy, beautiful, take care of themselves, groom themselves well, then you put one in place of the other. Just seeing how the person interacts with other people, if the person is magnetic. Have you ever heard of somebody that's ugly cute? Okay, well, me and my family, we talk about this all the time. We say like the person is un. So un is just like UN, right? So un for unattractive, okay? So if the person is un, then they might fit into the ugly cute category, like if they have swag or if they dress nice or something like that. So if we are keeping it real, we have to understand that some people are un or unattractive, or what we call ugly cute, because they may not have this perfect, beautiful, asymmetric or symmetrical face, but they have, a way that they dress, a way that they interact with people, or their magnetism, when they're in a crowd or something like that. Also, another thing that can physically, chemically attract you to somebody else is their status, okay? What is this person's status in life? Could be related to their income, could be related to, their family name, could be related to, their job or, career, something like that. Could be any of those things that can physically, chemically attract you to somebody. Okay, and the last thing that I wrote down, you may have some other ideas, let me know, is like their intellect. So intellect, how they stimulate you mentally, the conversations that you have, what you guys talk about, what you agree on and disagree on, that can also be like a physical or attraction or like a chemistry between the two of you, the banter that you have in conversations, okay? So all of these things are like right off the bat in the beginning, also a part of physical attraction. While we talk about, seeing a person, also a part of the physicality is, what can we smell when we're around the person? How does this person feel? Are they warm? Are their hands warm? Are their hands cold? All of these things are physical things as well and play a huge part in our initial attraction to somebody. And so this is going to be very important, especially in the beginning, because you really can't get too good into the beginning phases of connecting and wanting to take it further a lot of times when you don't have that initial chemistry. And a lot of people mess up with that, and they go with things that they think they need to have or the thing that they should have had or this storybook thing when they don't really have a chemistry with the person, and you end up marrying the wrong person. You end up marrying the person that you think you should marry, or being in a long-term relationship or having a child with somebody who you think you should be with instead of the person that you are vibrationally attracted to. So that is very important right up front, right off the gate, to have that attraction to that person, okay? Let me take a sip. Okay, I've been talking a lot here. All right, so this next thing is financial compatibility. I put that as number 2. That is right there at the top as well. As you all know, when people are getting divorces or breaking up with their significant other, a lot of times financial compatibility is part of what is wrong, what's cited as the reason that the relationship broke down, or at least a huge part of the reason why the relationship couldn't gel together properly is financial compatibility. So comment below some of the things that you think about when you think about financial compatibility, okay? Because you may have some ideas that are different than mine. So it's important for me to see your comments and for other people to see your comments. So comment below what types of things you think of when you think of financial compatibility. Okay, so all of these things we are talking about because we're thinking about a long-term partner, right? So you have to think on the level of financial compatibility, what is important to you? What is it important? What type of home do you keep? What type of vehicles that you drive? What type of clothing that you have? What types of things? Think of all the things that you spend money on by yourself and think that when you combine incomes, is this going to be as important to this other person? Do you have a shopping addiction? Okay, think about, is this going to fare well in this relationship? And vice versa, what is going on with the other person's habits? Now, I know you're thinking, wow, this is a lot, but yes, you need to take time and really, understand and get to know a person before you decide that you are going to, connect yourself on a serious level with this person, because there's so many layers to compatibility that a lot of people just don't even think about before they dive in, okay? So what is important to you? Also, what are you willing to take on? If you are the breadwinner in the relationship, are you willing to take on that other person's bills, okay? Are you willing to take on that other person's debt? Okay, these are things that you have to think about when you're combining and interlocking your money with this person. Who's going to be the one that pays the bills for the household? Are you guys going to split them? Are you going to have joint accounts or joint accounts and separate accounts? These are all the things that you need to think about. And if you feel like, oh no, I cannot trust this person, then you really need to think about being in a serious long-term relationship with them, because finances come along with it and play a huge part in it. So if you're thinking that that's not going to have an effect on your relationship, then that's where you're you're wrong already. You're already getting off to the wrong foot. Okay. So we talked about financial decisions. Who's going to be making those decisions? Are you financially fit alone? You know, are you bringing this other person some burdens on? Okay. Are you guys financially fit together? Like, how many children are you bringing together? So how many mouths do you have to feed total once you come together? You know, some people are combining families. They're growing their families. They have, you know, extended families from, you know, outside, you know, other relationships that they were in, previous relationships that they were in. You need to start thinking about those things when it comes to combining your finances with somebody. Can you guys survive together? Is the person a shopaholic? Does the person have a bad habit? You know, what is going on with this person financially, and how can that affect you? Okay, you need to be thinking about that. So comment below if you have any other ideas of what you think of when you hear the words financial compatibility. And let's move on to the next thing. But before I move on, please go ahead and share this video, okay? Hit the share button right now, because sharing is caring, and I really appreciate the love. I want so many more people to come in here and learn. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, sexual compatibility. I know you knew I was gonna talk about it. Yes, that is very important too. Okay, it's up there. Okay, it's important. For some people, you know, one thing is more important than the other. I talked about that before, but it's very important to discuss sex, or to dibble and dabble. I don't know how you want to do it. It depends on what type of people y'all are, but it's very important that you make this sexual assessment when you are deciding if this person is a long-term partner for you. You know, one thing that couples complain about is one person wants to be intimate a lot more than the other person, right? This is like a common complaint. But if you look back, some of you knew that from the beginning and you kept going with this person anyway. Why would you do that unless it was low on your list of important things to do? If you guys, you know, libido is not matching and you both don't want to do it, you know, the frequency is not matching, then you need to seriously consider, is this person my long-term partner? And how important is sex and intimacy to you? Okay, because it is very important. You cannot be with somebody who you feel that, or they feel that it's lower on the list, or has, you know, maybe some sexual trauma experience in their life, and maybe they're dealing with that. You have to know what you're getting into, and, you know, work on this person's vibe, you know, that you're getting into once you're intimate with them, or once you have these conversations with them. It's very important to see where this person's head is at when it comes to sex. Okay, we all grown folks in here. Okay, so this is one of the things that you need to be talking about. So another thing that I wrote down that I wanted to say, now this is very important. Okay, this debate has been going on and on and on for years, but I'm getting ready to settle it right now. I'm gonna settle it. Are you ready? Okay, size does matter. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, because different people like different things. There are some people that prefer grand things, and there are some people that prefer minimal things. I'm trying to keep it a little, I'm not trying to go X-rated here. I'm just trying to keep it a, you know, a little bit R slash, you know, a little, you know, early, you know, young adult to old adult. Okay. It does matter your sexual chemistry with this person, what you like, what they like, you know, kinky or not. Are you gonna bring somebody else in your bedroom? Is porn okay? These are the things, and I know these are like weird discussions, but if you're grown, you can get into these conversations. And, or even if you're not having the direct conversation, then you need to be very observant, you know, of what's going on with this person. And I say share it through conversation. I really do think that it's important to discuss these things, because a lot of you are going to end up, you know, discussing it with your girlfriends, or you're going to discuss it with your homeboys instead of discussing it with your mate, because you're unhappy. Okay? Some of y'all are unhappy right now. Why? Because you did not heed the warning signs that you were not sexually compatible with this person, or even going back financially or physically attracted, chemically attracted to this person. Okay? Compatibility has a whole lot more to do. There's a whole lot more to it than just, oh, I like to bowl. Do you like to bowl? Okay, yes, me too. There's a whole lot more than that involved, okay? So let's move along. We talked about physical attraction, financial compatibility, and sexual compatibility. Let's talk about the person's family history, okay? You do not need to be getting serious with somebody until you meet the people who they have grown up with, who they surround themselves with. You have got to know what type of person you're dealing with and what type of company they keep. Okay, it is important to learn a person's family history to see if you guys are compatible. Okay, you do not know how many arguments couples get into, or I have been in personally, or whatever, because you have been on a different wavelength with how somebody was raised than you are. Okay, so this comes into play not just with, what is ideal to a person, like what they feel are the keys to life, but also, the wealth of their family and where their head is at as far as, growth is concerned. Also, their mental health and their physical health play a huge part from their family history. And also, like I said, mental health, knowing how the person grew up and how, the family dynamic had an effect on this person's life, because when the newness wears off, when the honeymoon phase is gone, you are going to be dealing with this person and all of their baggage that they bring along. Okay? So, and not saying that you won't get a person who hasn't worked on themselves and cleaned up their baggage and things like that, but it's important to know a person's background and things that are connected to them, because all of these little pieces make up exactly who they are as a person. Okay, so that's important to know right there. Okay, let's move along to thing number 5. Okay, thing number 5 is going to be lifestyle compatibility. Now, this goes right along with what I was saying about like the person's health, the person's wealth, financial compatibility. Like, this kind of wraps a few of them into one. Comment below some ideas that you think of when you think of lifestyle compatibility. So a couple of things that I thought of was like morning person versus night owl. Are you guys on the same schedule? And if you're not on the same schedule, is this a deal breaker for you? Is this going to be something that interrupts your flow? It's at least something to give thought to when you're considering a person for the long term, to see what their habits are and their life, and do they match yours, or at least do they complement yours, or are you guys trying to get on that same one vibe together? Another thing that came to mind when I thought of lifestyle compatibility is the types of food that people eat, and their overall health. This could cause rifts in a relationship as well. You never know. It depends on how important it is for one or the other person, whether the types of food or that person's health or habits are going to affect your relationship. Another thing, the last thing that I wrote down about lifestyle compatibility is the person's sanitation and grooming habits, okay? Are you going to be okay when that person throws their underwear on the floor? Are you going to pick them up, or are you going to get frustrated and it's going to cause arguments because you're going to talk about how dirty and nasty they are? Okay? This is something you have to know. This is something you have to think about. Does this person take a shower in the morning and night? Or does this person just take a shower at night? Me and my son were discussing that the other day, because I was saying, grown folks, even if you take a shower at night, you're going to have to take a shower again in the morning, because funk marinates overnight. Okay, yes it does. And if you're with somebody that's like, I need to be fresh and clean in my bed, if somebody else that is gonna be work all day and greasy and everything and just hop in the bed, you're not gonna be okay with that. And same way if you're a person that takes a shower at night and then you don't get up in the morning and take a shower, and you got all the last night's 8 hours of just marination sitting on you, you might not be, compatible with a person that's a clean freak, okay? That may be something that can turn a relationship off. And of course, a lot of these things you have to think about. The person is not going to come straight out and tell you, like, hey, I have a problem with this all the time. The relationship is just going to deteriorate and break down. And somebody's going to end up cheating, or somebody's going to end up leaving, or you guys are going to end up fighting, or whatever the case is, okay? So really think about your cleanliness habits, the person's grooming habits, or whatever, how often they clean their house and things like that before you get into serious long-term commitments with this person. Please share this video with somebody who you think it will benefit. We have talked about physical attraction and chemistry, financial compatibility, sexual compatibility, family history, and lifestyle compatibility. So please share this video with somebody who you think needs to hear this message, because I know a lot of people do. Okay, we have 3 more left. Okay, you guys know I give you my all. I give you all my energy when it is time for the Girlfriend Experience classroom, because I like to make sure that I give you some depth. Okay, I'm asking you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and so I want to give you something back. So we have 3 more left, and just because there are 3 at the end does not mean that they are not your top 3. Who knows? Okay, so let's talk about big goals. Big goals are important when it comes to seeing if you are compatible with a person. Like, where does this person want to end up in life? Comment below if you have ideas. Like, what do you think of when you think of big goals? What big goals do you share with a person? Like, do you want to own a home? Do you want to live in the city? Do you want to live in the country? When do you want to retire? Do you want to travel for a living? Do you want to have, a second home, a summer home or whatever, and a winter home? Do you want to live near the beach? Like, do you want to be a business owner? Okay. Do you want to have a restaurant? And that person, I don't know. There's a myriad of things that you can think of when you think of big goals. Like when you think of somebody's dream, somebody's lifelong dream, what do they want to do? These things need to be in alignment with each other. Like if one person is like, oh, I just always wanted to be a surgeon. Okay. And so if you're that person's counterpart, you have to be okay with, the things that come along with somebody being a surgeon, like maybe not having as much time with them or being a support system to them. Or if you're, dating or married to somebody who goes to medical school, then, they cannot even work the first year of medical school. So they're not going to have that income and everything. So are you willing to support that person? Okay. And there's so many other ideas I can think of when it comes to big goals. And are you willing to help that person, make their big goals come true? And are your big goals in alignment with one another? Because if your big goals, if you cannot see yourself far into the future with this person, you need to cut it, okay, before it goes too far, because that is one of the big deal things that's going to make or break you. This is right up there with financial compatibility, because they go hand in hand together. Okay, somebody's big goals are usually always, attached to the finances. Okay, I mean, even if the person wants to be a missionary, okay, there's something has to finance that travel. Okay, so there we go with that. All right, share this video, please, with somebody who you feel would connect to it and needs to understand how important it is not to just pick anybody because they're cute. Okay. All right, number 7 is children. Okay, comment below some ideas that you think of when you hear the word children when it comes to compatibility. One of the things that people mismatch and disagree on is discipline. How to discipline the children, what's okay to do, what's not okay to do. Is it okay to spank? What do you feel about time out? What do you feel about cursing in front of the child? I mean, what do you feel about homeschool versus regular school, public school versus private school, or, whatever? What do you feel about anything? How many children do you think that you should have? How many children are you willing to accept from outside of this relationship that were there before you were there? Okay. This is so important when you think about relationship compatibility. Yes. And another reason why is because it goes right back to financial compatibility. Hello, children are going to dictate what goes on in your finances. Okay, so that's why I was saying that the finance piece, baby, is, dare I say, the most important piece? I don't know. You tell me. It connects to so many different things. Okay. The last thing that I think is a huge part of compatibility, is he or she the one, is religion. Okay. Please comment below what you think of when it comes to religion. Let me know your stories. Let me know your trials and tribulations. Okay. When you have mixed match ideals, ideologies, and ideas when it comes to spirituality and religion and the way that you practice your way of being on a daily, regular, weekly, monthly, periodic basis, okay, this is where you begin to come into conflict with some people. Now, there's some people where it won't even matter, even if you are mixed matched in religion, because one or the other, or maybe both of the people, won't even care enough or won't be so devout that it matters to them what the religion of the other person is. But when we think about those other people that it is important to them, then we've got to think about these things. And we've also got to think about these things, not just on Sundays, but how does this, or Saturdays for some people when they worship, but how does this affect people's daily lifestyles? And it can affect their big goals, and it can affect the way that they raise their children. It can affect your lifestyle compatibility. It can even affect your sexual compatibility, this person's spirituality and religion. Okay, what it is that they believe and what it is that they practice. Okay, so oh my goodness, if you are grown and you are in here and you are single, whoo, bless you, because I know that this is a lot of work. Okay, but a little while of work for 50, 60, 70 years of happiness, isn't it a wonderful trade-off? I think so. Okay, so think about these things as you enter relationships with people, because after you get in so deep, sometimes it's, even harder to break ties with somebody who you're starting to realize this person, we're not compatible together. Okay, so instead of doing that, do this at the beginning. And if you are doing this and you're already in a relationship with somebody, then, just know that it is okay that you have to do this assessment. And sometimes you may have to bend and curve and tweak some things that you're okay with bending and curving and tweaking on. But if those things are deal breakers to you, then you must go and you must escape. Then hey, do what makes you feel good, and do what's right for you, and do what makes you feel comfortable and not other people. Okay? So please share this video with somebody who you think will find value in it. Please subscribe to me on YouTube at The Girlfriend Experience LLC. Okay, make sure you like this video and make sure you share it with the world, because sharing is caring. Okay, so until next time, peace and blessings. Bye.